Jojo Alonso from iHeart's 105 through the Beat, and I got Mariah the Scientist in the building.
Hello, Jojo.
Beautiful Mariah the Scientist. We are in the Duncan Music Lounge, and we are talking about how come R&B is just in this small little bubble. Because I agree, Drake, I feel like he's another artist. Like, well, now he's global now, but at first I feel like he kind of started off. I feel like nobody knew where to put him at first because he was like doing R&B and he was doing rap. And to be honest, I don't even know where. Do you even know like where his genre was? Like, Take Care.
I feel like even like with Rod Wave, he's singing.
Rod Wave is,
and they say he's a rapper.
You see what I'm saying? But okay, so do you think do you think R&B? Do you think they say R&B because of the melody of the song or the lyrics?
I just feel like if R&B literally means rhythm and blues is a derivative of jazz, and like how they send certain music to rhythmic radio, it's like, what does that mean? That it just has you can do a 1-2 with everything.
Right.
Every song has a rhythm except for like rock and heavy metal. That's just like, so it's like, I just feel like the lines are really blurred there. Yeah. And there's no like real definitive.
Like what? Yeah, there's no definitive like this is R&B. Like this is what makes R&B. Yeah, I feel like this is how I feel. I feel like R&B should be based off of, I know it says rhythm and blues, but I feel like it should be about how you're like if you're singing it or what you're singing about, because I feel like R&B is more so of like pain and love. And
okay, even if you want to say that,
okay,
you have Lana Del Rey. She's singing about like heartache, loving somebody, the longing that she wants for this guy. That's what she sings about. Her music is considered alternative though. Is it just like it can't be like an instrumental thing because the instruments are crossing over to every genre. So, right. I don't know. I feel like that's a toss up. I have to do a deep dive on that or something because it can get confusing.
Yeah. So are you wanting to be known as more than an R&B artist?
I just feel like it's a spectrum. I feel like all music is like a spectrum. And I just feel like maybe it's just like a round spectrum, right? Because you have like, I feel like, let's say on one end is like a heavy metal. And then on another end is like, I don't know, opera. And then it's like at some point on this long-winded spectrum, you have like pop, which maybe you can consider like a little more upbeat or like an up-tempo kind of thing. And then you have R&B that's maybe like the BPM is a little slower, but it's like, what really is it? Is it that it's slower? Then you have like rap that can be on like a Drake that is like on a slower vibe, or it can be up tempo. It's like, my thing is, why does it have to just be one category?
Yeah. So do you think music should just be a broad, a genre? I feel like it's just so many different artists. There's so many different. You got country, you got opera, you got R&B, you got rap, and it's just like putting them all together is just too much. So that's why they try to like have categories,
I don't think they should put it all together. But I do think like it's not good to just simplify somebody to just one thing. I feel like it's limiting. It's like if SZA puts a project, if SZA makes a song like whatever, alternative or even approaching like I feel like it was a song on her project that was going in the direction of like it definitely was alternative. It was going in the direction of like a rock almost.
Which album?
This last album.
Oh, okay.
I can't think of the song right now, but I feel like her entire project is categorized as R&B. But it's like, what if one song on there was like a standout song in another genre? They're still gonna chalk it up to that, and they're gonna push it in that category.
Yeah.
Like,
so she was actually nominated for, I want to say like 9 Grammys. Yeah. I want to say, but so were all those nominations all R&B?
I just remember looking at it, and I feel like a lot of times I look at the nominations for certain stuff, and it's like all the black singers are in one category, and it's like all the. And I'm not trying to make this a thing about race. It's really not that. It's just that, like,
if we're talking about the Grammys, then
and back in the day, the R&B category, they made that for black artists. That's what it derived from jazz and the jazz scene, and we all know that jazz was like the they looked at that like secular and just like sinners music, you know, and it went that way. And I just feel like when, for an example, if Justin Timberlake or Robin Thicke or Justin Bieber or whoever decides they want to make an R&B album, and I'm not saying that the music they make is not R&B, but they have no problem putting them in those categories.
In like pop.
No problem.
It's going to go straight to pop.
It's going to go straight to pop. But if they say, I want this as R&B, they can get nominated in a category with us and then sweep. So it's like, why can't we be in that same, you know, why can't we have that same leverage across amongst other categories? And it's like, it's almost like if when they do put us over there, which I feel like the reason why a lot of people don't fuck with certain nominations or you know, like organizations, I feel like it's because you put us in another category and our music might be way better than somebody else, and they will. You
putting it just so that we stuck in a certain category. We can't compete
just so we
with,
can say, okay, they put us. Thank you. It's inclusive.
Yeah.
And it's like, is it really inclusive, or was your mind already made up when you put me there?
So let me ask you this: Do you personally feel like that? Okay, I'll go back. What is the reasoning why you're so passionate about being in different genres instead of just stuck in just one genre?
Because I just feel like it's not fair. It's limiting. You know, It's like,
it's limiting you as an artist.
It's limiting everybody. You know, it's like, it's not just me. You know, I feel like it's a lot of people like that, and I just feel like it's, I don't know, I wouldn't say that. And I think it's because everybody has a different definition of what everything could be or what everything means, which is why I asked you when I got in here, what is it that you think R&B is? Does that mean, like, what is it about it? Is it the rhythm or the blues that's making it that?
It ain't neither. We came up with our own, like,
the lines are blurred.
Yeah. It's not, like you said, it's not a definite, like, this is why it's R&B. So let's go to Be Eaten Alive. Like, what kind of album do you think that is?
So I feel like I did an interview and I said I feel like it would have been A&B, which is alternative and blues, even though that was just like a term I coined at the time. But I feel like the reason why I feel like some of it is more alternative, and this could be wrong, you know, but I feel like I usually start some of my music with no drums, you know, and then eventually I put the drum in, which I feel like that's where the rhythm is at, you know. But I wouldn't say that every song was in. I feel like if you listen to my entire catalog of music, I feel like there are definitely some songs that I would not consider R&B, you know. Like I have a song on my first project that's called In My Nightmares. I just feel like that is not an R&B song. I feel like I have another song called To You on my second project that is not, in my opinion, not an R&B song. I feel like on this project, I feel like there's a lot of stuff there. I feel like there is some R&B, but you have like my first and second song on a project. I don't know if those are R&B.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like, I don't know. If there were like some definitive rules on it, then I could say, okay, yes.
I mean, like you personally, like what you believe, like what do you, how do you feel?
I think some of it is, and I think some of it isn't. That's why I say I really think it's a spectrum. I think each song is different. Maybe they categorize it like that because they feel like the overall essence of the person or the project is one thing, you know. But even like I don't know if I could agree with that.
Okay. Well, okay, I have a question. What is your favorite song on the album?
I don't have a favorite. If I absolutely had to pick.
Okay. Well, your favorite, I guess the one that you had the most fun making.
I would pick number 1, which is called Heaven is a Place on Earth, because I produced it and I wrote it.
Okay. Not you produced it and you wrote it.
Did.
Okay, hello. Please stop playing with her. Mariah, the producer.
Yeah, exactly. I would say that if I had to pick a favorite, it'll probably be number 1.
Okay, and you said that because you
I
wrote
invested
it.
the most.
You invested the most time into it.
The percentage.
What was your emotional state in making this album? Because when I listen to it, and it's given very much heartfelt. It's given very much R&B. Okay. And I say that because I'm gonna just say that because it's just how I feel when I listen to R&B music. R&B music to me is like feel good music. Music that you listen to when you're in love, music that you listen to when you're trying to get through a breakup, like music like that. And so like listening to this album, it made me feel good.
Yeah. I feel like I have a lot of R&B on this project for sure. I think I don't know if it was one emotional state, because it took a lot of. I made a lot of these songs over the span of several years. It wasn't like I just was feeling one type of way and then I just like sat in that emotion and then made an entire project. It wasn't like that. It was like some parts of the project I was going through breakups. Some parts of the project I was going through makeups.
Okay.
Some parts of the projects I was falling out of love, and some parts of the project I was falling in love. So I think there's multiple different perspectives, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, but you can definitely tell, like in the album when you listen to it, because that's exactly you can tell, like you're talking about different. You can tell that you have different feelings in the songs that you're talking about, and they're very relatable. And I love, like I said, I love me some good feel good music, and I feel like that you did drop this project like right on time, because babe, it's the R&B. Or I know you don't like being in that.
It's not that, because see, maybe this project is more R&B. I don't know. I just wouldn't say that I was one. And I think a lot of people took it like, oh, she is like, she don't want to be R&B. It's like, it's not that. I just feel like I make music that is also not R&B.
Right.
You know?
I'm just I'm versatile.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not just an R&B artist.
Right.
This album might be R&B, but
Right.
just me as an artist, I'm not. I don't classify myself as an R&B artist.
I don't classify myself as necessarily any kind of artist. I just feel like I'm just an artist.
Yeah, you're just an artist. I feel that. I feel that. And I feel like you had a right to feel like that. Because if I want to wake up and make a country song, like I want to be able to do that, because
I even say like with Lil Nas X, like when he made that song, Old Town Road, it's like they try to tell him that wasn't a country song. And it's like, why is it not a country song?
And how you going to tell him that it ain't a country song if he wanted it to be a country song? Exactly. And that goes back to trying to be in control and putting you in a place and
it's
trying
discriminatory.
To. It really is. It really is. But I feel that though, like wanting to be just an artist. You know, don't classify me as anything else, because being an artist is a form of art. That's why it's artist. So like, if I can be R&B, I could be R&B. If I could be pop, I could be pop. You could probably hop on there and spit a whole verse.
I feel like anybody could do anything. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay. Hello.
I feel like there's a lot of versatile artists out there, and I be feeling like they be just like
doing whatever they want to do.
Giving some artists the short end of the stick. That's what I think.
Yeah, that is true. That's true too. Okay, so let's talk about so you've been a lot of places. Like you went to One Music Fest?
I did.
Coachella?
I did.
Yeah, you've been outside.
I have been running around.
Yeah, you have. How is that? How is that feeling? Being on stage, being around all these fans. What is that
like
feeling?
A real growing process, I feel. You know? I feel like I have grown as a performer and just like as a singer generally, because I don't know if I necessarily would have said like I was a singer. Like, you know, I didn't like grow up singing in nobody's church. I didn't grow up doing that kind of stuff. So I think it was a little more foreign to me.
Okay.
So I think I have adopted this, you know, this skill, and I have just like ran with it and grown with it, and I feel like it's been pretty rewarding.
Yeah. And what about do you like performing? Do you like getting on stage and actually performing? Like if you don't like, that's cool too. Because I remember Michael Jackson said he don't like going on tour. Like he said, I don't like tour.
I think he was saying he didn't like it because he don't like traveling like that. I think that I do like it. I like it to some extent. I think it starts getting, I don't want to say it gets uncomfortable. It gets like
overwhelming.
You know, it gets overwhelming when everybody is expecting you to perform a particular kind of way or like be a particular kind of performer. And I think maybe I'm just like not comfortable. I don't think people realize like maybe I'm not comfortable doing certain things. You know, maybe I'm not comfortable with crying in the middle of singing my song.
Right.
You know, and it's like then they'll be like, she didn't cry during her song, so she's really not that into it. She's not a good performer. It's like maybe I just, I accept those opinions. You know, I don't know if I accept them, but I hear them, I acknowledge them, and I know that some people want something particular out of a good show. But I also know that you know, in the same midst of that, I feel like there are people who show up because they just love the music and they don't give a fuck if I was up there with a brown paper bag on and just only with my eyeballs out of it. They would just come and they would be there for the music, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like I owe it to those people to do, you know, to give them a show.
Yeah.
You know, and I have been trying to figure out ways that I can do that are still like natural to me and not too like overdone, because I feel like the second I start doing something that I feel like is forced, I feel like everyone's going to know. And
we're going to know.
You're going to think, if I was doing bad before, you're going to think I'm really doing some shit
like,
I shouldn't be doing
too
now.
much. Yeah, because, you know, and at the end of the day, people, though, they, you know, they going to say whatever they going to say regardless. Like, they be hating. Mm-hmm. But there is an artist, I won't say who it is, but she, the way she performs or how she was performing is she performed how she performed. People had a problem with it. Mm-hmm. Then she switched it up. And then everyone's like, oh, you need to go back to your old ways, you know, whatever. And I'm just like, at the end of the day, your fans are going to be your fans. Like, they're there to support you. They're going to support you, like, whatever you decide to do. I just, just continue to be you. Like, I feel like performing isn't everybody's thing. Like, just because I can sing don't mean I'm finna come up here and do a whole little choreography 1-2 step, babe. I'm sorry, I ain't got it. Like,
and the crazy part is, some of my music I do want to dance to. Some of my music I do want to do that. It's just like, I feel like it needs to be a little more curated, right? But in a sense of it being a little more curated, I feel like I should just be willing to have a little more fun with it. And I feel like that's where the, like, this, I don't want to say setbacks, but that's where like the speed bumps come in at. Because it's like, I personally think out of all my time performing, I think that the reason why I was doing it the way I was doing it in the beginning is because I had never performed in front of anybody. I never sung in front of anybody, you know? And I think that people don't realize, I always say that, you know how you have like hand-eye coordination? It's literally like an ear-to-mouth coordination. And I think that when you are nervous, or I don't even want to say nervous, when you're feeling out of your element, it's like the way you breathe in, the way that it's just totally different, you know, and it affects everything that's coming after that. So I really think it's a mind thing. Yeah. I think that performing is a mind game. Is there
anything that you've done to like help you go through like maybe breathing techniques?
I've done some vocal coaching, you know, and the crazy part is the main thing they talk about when you get in there is breathing. That's at least the first thing. You know, so I feel like I've done some vocal coaching. I've sat with like some movement coaches and stuff, but for some reason, every time I do the movement coaching, I wind up feeling uncomfortable. You know,
what is movement coaching? Like, what is that exactly?
It's not like necessarily full on choreography, you know, but it's just like them trying to show you ways that you can move that are like, that can enhance the show or like the expression of particular songs, you know. But it's like, I don't know, I just be feeling like sometimes it's like simple things. It could be like rolling your hand down a mic, or like if you holding the mic and you like hold you go down it. That's simple. That's not really like,
that's not too much.
It's just like little things, nuances that you can do that will just maybe help you convey a little more emotion than just standing there like this.
Right,
you know?
right.
So I think I have tried some things. I don't know. In the latest music video I shot, I was dancing. Now, I don't usually do that. You know, but it was like more like we came up with it on the spot. But I feel like I would do it more if it was something that I liked. Yeah. You know?
Are you coordinated?
I used to be on the dance team, but I wouldn't say that I was like,
I think I seen a video of you on the dance team.
You know, I'm not necessarily like.
Wait, I think I seen a video.
It was a hot mess
of you on the dance team. Now that you say that, was it like a majorette team, or it was a real?
I was a dancer for the band in high school.
That's majorette. Oh, that was in high school.
In high school.
Was that here?
Yeah, that's in Atlanta at Southwest Camp High School. Which the crazy part is, Southwest Camp High School was like the school for the band. Okay. And like their dancers and stuff. So I feel like to be a part of their team in general, or their squad, whatever, you know, it's at the time it was prestigious. In all honesty, it's like if you were like any version of any it girl, you was probably on this team at some point in time. Yeah. So, you know, was it necessarily something that I
really was like?
Was it like my first?
I get it.
Not necessarily, but it was cool. I feel like it was character building.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I could see that. So you weren't really.
I'm not like I'll dance.
Were you really the dancing girl, or was you was the cute girl that was just being cute and you just had your outfit on?
Sometimes I ask myself that, but in all honesty, I remember the first, so they had tryouts, right?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like they just put you on the scene. Even though some people will argue that if you cute, they'll put you on the scene.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a point at the tryouts, and they teach you everything, but they make all they old girls try out with their new girls at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you're dancing with them. And I remember them teaching us the choreography, and then in the midst of dancing, it's like as soon as you like mess up, they just eliminate you, right? Not eliminate like you're done,
like,
but you just they move you out of the thing so they can focus.
Right.
And I remember being the only new girl that was like left dancing with the old girls.
Okay.
So
you earned
I earned it.
Yeah, you feel like I earned my spot.
You know?
I kept up with them,
but
and
I also
was
feel like
cute.
you can earn a spot. And then it's like you can get comfortable in that spot, So it's like now I'm on the team. Now it's like I'm tired at the games. Like I don't know if I really have to be just like, but really that's why I say it's a mind thing. Maybe in my mind I was supposed to just be like fucking it up at all points. Like if I could go back, I probably would give a little more.
Girl, please, you did what you needed to do.
Did what I could.
Yeah, you did what you needed to do. So okay. So speaking of school, did you finish school? Or did
college?
Did you finish? Okay, so you decided to drop out. And did you decide to drop out because of music, or you just was like, I'm over it?
Pretty much. No, I dropped out because if I hadn't started making music, I probably wouldn't have dropped out.
Okay, so that's where your name comes from, the fact that you were
majored in biology.
Okay, so you majored in biology. Why did you major in biology?
I love science. I would go back.
What do you love so much about science?
I just feel like it's the reason for everything. This room is made, like, it's engineered with chemical, like this shit is made, like, I don't know, this might be marble or like something like that. I just be like, I'm really into it, Do you know that the way that marble is made, they go out into like these fields of stone and like rock that has like overlapped, and they cut it out. They cut it out. Mm-hmm. And then it causes me to have this other conversation, which I have with my boyfriend often. Natural resources on Earth are being sold. They're selling it. It's like,
why? And it comes from the earth.
And maybe it's just like, maybe you're paying for the skill of the cultivation or like the harvesting or the refinement of certain resources, but still like a natural resource. So I do have like a struggle with so ethics of it.
Okay, so you say you love science. Are you big on conspiracy theories?
I try not to be.
Yeah.
It depends on the topic.
Do you believe in the Big Bang Theory?
I do, but I have a little, there are some things that compromise my thoughts on that, but I realize that a lot of people think that all dinosaurs, just for example, they think dinosaurs were wiped out because a big ass meteor came down and killed everybody at one time. But it's like, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. It came down and it produced a lot of other chemical reactions once it came down. It like wrecked everything. It like wrecked the soil. It wrecked the atmosphere, like the air you can breathe, like quality air. And like it changed the resources.
Okay.
And I feel like eventually they died off. I don't think it was like it hit them all at once. I feel like maybe it hit some of them.
Yeah, but you think just over time, like the gases or chemicals or whatever kind of wiped everything out, the vegetation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you think the Earth is flat?
So I don't think so. Right? I would like to. I don't know if I would ever go to space, but I would like to just go to see if it was a projection or if it was real.
What would keep you from going to space?
I'm not really like feeling that. I'm not feeling like I'm not feeling
you. Would you go in the ocean? I mean, we seen what happened.
I can't swim. I'll probably go to space before I go in the ocean.
Okay.
I don't fuck with the ocean. The ocean is like some.
How you can't swim? No, seriously, I'm scared of the ocean.
No, I ain't. No, for real though. It have been times. I went to Dubai one time in life, and we were on a boat randomly at nighttime. And granted, if you like get on a boat, obviously the water is gonna look dark, but the water was just like jet black. Yeah. It was just like jet black, and it was just like freaking me out. Like
Like it's so deep and you don't know what's in it, and it can just consume you.
And it can get aggressive.
And it can get aggressive.
I'm in the beach and it's like taking me in, and it's like I can't swim.
Yeah.
So
you need to learn how to swim. After today, we're gonna start taking some swimming lessons, babe. Because you gotta get up in that water and figure it out.
I can doggy paddle. I can go under the water like this. I just can't let my nose go. If I could do that, I probably could be like a elite swimmer.
Yeah. But you don't like going up under the water and doing that. You don't like water. I feel I get it. I get it. A lot of people,
once it goes up there and it's like you have that distinct memory of what it feels like to have water
up your nose,
your canals.
Ooh, woo.
I ain't feeling that.
Yeah, that burns. That burns a lot. But you do have a new single. Is it coming out tomorrow?
Well,
or are we pushing it back?
It's on my project. But I think I want that to be what I lead with to the commercial world.
Okay, so that's what you want. That's what you want us to play on the.
I would like for you to play it because I really like that song. I feel like it's one of the most upbeat songs on my project.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I feel like I would like to claim it as an identifier for how diverse my music could be.
So we're talking about Out of Luck.
Yes.
Okay.
And for the record, it was produced by K Tronada, which I love him, and he is just like a class act. I feel like he's an icon. I love his music, and I feel like if you don't know, because see, another thing about like the genre conversation, right? Like maybe he's in another genre, and I'm in another genre. I know a lot of people who listen to my music might not know who he is, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this is a pinnacle of like that overlapping, you know, in both ways. And I feel like I'm really happy to have collaborated with him.
So, look, moving forward, I know we were talking about genres and things like that. Can you see yourself doing, like, tapping into another genre? I know you say, I ain't categorized. I do whatever. I feel like I get it. But, like, something that we haven't seen Mariah the Scientist do before, you know?
I think I would do it if someone came to me and they asked me to be a part of something that was unusual for me. I feel like I would step outside my comfort zone and try it at least.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like as far as the music that I can make, I can only make what's in my mind and that just comes out naturally, you know. And I've tried to do some other things for sure, and it does come out that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's come out in a way that I like, you know, but I don't know if it's something that I would put out or not.
Right. What did I say? I said that some women don't have anything to offer. Like, I mean, that was the truth. Because we were talking about like how men. Well, we were talking about how women expect things from men. Like they want them to take care of them and buy them this and buy them that and do all this other, take them on these extravagant dates and stuff. But they don't have anything going on with their life. Like nothing. Like they don't have a job. Like they don't have a house. They don't have a car.
This is a big conversation.
You know, and I was like, you know, it's crazy that some women expect for men to do all of that and they don't have anything to offer. And so then people were like, who are you to say that she don't have nothing to offer if that man wants to do X, Y, and Z for her and this, and this? And I'm just like, I'm not bashing women. I'm just saying, like, anyway, some women don't have anything to offer. They're expecting, you know, and that just came from me sitting down and talking to so many different people. Like, you know, I sit down, I interview people. That's what I do for a living. Like, I do that all the time. So when I'm talking to all these different people, mostly men, and these men keep telling me over and over and over and over, like, no, these women don't act like they're expecting this, this, and this. I think it's a
difference, right? I think some women, I don't know if it's that some women don't have anything to offer, rather than some women are not offering anything. They just, that's what they live by. I know a lot of women who, you know, they just don't feel obligated or obliged in any capacity to offer a man anything. They feel like they don't have to. They don't feel like that's what they were made for, you know. And I feel like I also know some women like that who have, you know, they are willing to accept less than, you know, what another woman might expect, who can offer more. You know, I think with women, you know, it's a slippery slope these days because of how things are going. I think back in the day, in the traditional perspective, I feel like men were providers. You didn't have to come with anything. Matter of fact,
at least cook and clean, though.
Men used to come in ancient times, and it has obviously gradually evolved.
For sure.
They show up to your parents. They don't even communicate with you. They show up to your parents and say, she's 16, 17, 18, old enough for marriage and birthing children. I want her. Let's make an arrangement. You didn't have to offer anything. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I feel like people are bashing the kind of girls who are like that now, but that's how they feel, you know? And obviously there are other women like someone like me or you, and we have responsibilities. We have a job that we dedicate ourselves to. We have a family that we look after. You know what I'm saying? It's like, some women don't feel like they have to do that. Some women don't even feel like they have to have no children. And it's like, you're the only one on planet. You're the only species besides other female animals
that can produce,
make this baby.
Right.
I feel like that's a part of our genetic makeup. I feel like that's part of what we're supposed to do. But some women don't even want to do that.
Yeah.
You know.
And if they don't, you know, to each its own. But I'm bringing that up to say, like, I wasn't bashing women when I said that statement. You know, I was saying that because that's a real statement and that's how men feel. Yeah. And they tell me that all the time. And so I was saying that to say, like, the comments were just,
they can be terrible.
Oh my God. Like and then the women, they were just like tearing me down. I'm like, oh my God. So I'm just saying that to say, like, yes, women can be.
Hear me out.
There was
a girl on the internet, and I saw this video she made on YouTube, and the caption was, "When you can't perform, but you're light skinned, Mariah the Scientist." That's what it said. And it was a brown skinned girl, and she got up there and she was bashing. And some people will argue that she wasn't bashing me, but it was like she literally was saying stuff like, I bet if you ask her right now why she gets these opportunities, the fact that the colorism conversation will just go right over her head, and she won't even, I bet you she won't even be able to really comprehend that. And it's like, as a black woman, and it's not like the colorism conversation is another thing that I feel like
it's so tough.
Oh my gosh, it gets crazy, you know? And I feel like a lot of times the energy is directed at somebody that's on your side. You know, and it's like, it gets crazy. It gets crazy in them comments. You got to stay out of that.
Yeah. And I had to
get up out of that.
I was about to say, I actually like commend you for that, because you do a really good job with staying silent.
Girl,
to the bullshit.
My Twitter. I was not like that before. I was the very first, I ain't even going to bring it up. One of the very first times I ever was going back and forth on, you know, the internet, it was like, I feel like a lot of times when it's only 140 characters on Twitter that you can type, you know, it's only so much you can say. And it's hard to read between the lines a lot of times. And sometimes maybe we do make statements that
ruffle other people's feathers.
And maybe even we make those statements with, you know, you gotta remember that sometimes people speak on what they know so far, how they've been raised, and their perspective on life, you know. And it's like, I have tried, you know what I will say? Even though I used to comment a lot, like I would be willing to like defend myself a lot of times, and, you know, in the midst of evolving and like refraining from passing along my opinion, I have learned that those are their opinions. You know what I'm saying? Those are their opinions, and that's their perspective, and I cannot take their perspective from them. Right. You know, maybe sometimes it comes out a way that is offensive and everything like that, but that's your opinion, and I cannot be mad at you for that. I can just do my best to turn away from it.
Yeah, or just don't pay attention to it at all, because it's always going to be hurtful. It's going to be hurtful. Some people say some really rude things, and then just to go back to colorism, you know, I'm a light-skinned black woman. I'm actually Afro-Latina, so I'm Puerto Rican and I'm black. So I've had to deal with a lot of colorism comments as well. And just being a light-skinned black woman, the colorism conversation is very touchy.
It is.
You know, it's very touchy, and sometimes it's kind of tough for a light-skinned black woman to explain her story, because sometimes people ain't trying to hear that shit.
Right.
You know, they're not trying to hear your side. You know, they just not.
You know, and it's really fucked up too, though, because like I see a lot of comments like so there's like this running joke that there's a lot of women that look like me, right? And it's like they always say like she looks like that because she's biracial, she's mixed. Obviously, she has a white parent or a black and a black parent. It's like I actually don't have two black parents. You know, and like my mother is a fair skinned black woman, and when she was growing up, you know, they like made her feel really bad about that, like really bad about being the only fair skinned, you know, like family member. Yeah. Period. And it's like I think it's interesting how it went from like this. There's this concept that back in the day, the term mulatto and like the children that were mixed, it was like they did not fuck with that.
Right.
And then to like white people, because it was like this passing conversation, then it turned into like what they felt was acceptable in a particular realm of the world, right. You know, and then it turned into like this black on black hate conversation. And it's like,
why? It's literally people. I wouldn't even say it's us. I was like, as a black community, I feel like
you're right. It is us. It is us. Right. And it's like the men play a part. The kind of man who like, I only like foreigners. I only like light skin or women who have grown up with feeling like because of that, there's like a unfair advantage. Yeah. You know, and it's like then they harbor that resentment.
And then it's a clash.
And it's like, but you know, at the end of the day, I did not choose this. You know, like my mother did not choose that. My other people that I know who are brown skinned, they did not choose to be brown. It's like, that's just the way it is. Does that mean that in any capacity, any of us should be tearing the next person down for it? It's like, I feel like if that's the case, then when white people spent all these years saying you brown skinned, so we must treat you differently, or you are treated differently, and we gonna stick with that. It's like, I feel like we just running with that. It's like, it ain't. When does it just like
end? And maybe it doesn't. And I feel that. I feel that too, because like I said, I'm a black woman, a light skinned black woman. So there has been things that I've had to deal with as well. And I don't want to say that it's us against each other, but like you said, like it is. It is sometimes.
Like some of the most you know, and that's why with the conversation of women, right? And it really gets sad. Like I have cried over this like plenty of times. I feel like it's like the most hate I get, it be from women. It don't be from men. Like, you know, it's like, and it be like from black women, you know, and it made me feel like, it made me think about like hearing my mom be sad about
how she looks. Because someone else doesn't like the way she looks.
And it's just like, that's really messed up, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I feel you. I've had to go through it. I had to go through it growing up.
And then in this conversation, right? People will listen to this conversation and they'll take it and they'll be like, oh my God, those light-skinned women are crying and complaining about how they look and this and that. And it's like, we're not crying and complaining about how we look. The bottom line is,
we had things we went through. Yeah.
I cannot change this. And the crazy part is, it's just like, this is how it is. It's like, then it's like, when my children come out light-skinned, will my children be like,
so, like, would they be talked? Is that something that I have?
Would they be looked at a particular way? Because, and it's like, people, I guarantee you, I don't even know if we need to use none of this because it's gonna turn into some shit. I bet you, I guarantee you, like, it never fails.
And the thing is let's not. We're not saying, just to clarify, we're not saying that we don't understand that there is a such thing. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. There is a such thing as pretty privilege. There's a such thing as light skin privilege. It is a thing. I've noticed it. I've seen it before. But I think our issue is stop trying to make the fact that that's a thing.
It's not our fault. It's not right to.
It's not
to discredit me or have a built animosity for me. When you don't even know my stance on it. You don't even know that I don't fuck with that. You don't even know that it's been times when a nigga might say out his mouth, I only fuck with light-skinned women. And you have to correct the nigga like, who the hell you talking to?
Like, what?
You know, you don't understand that as much as you don't fuck with that, neither do I. Right. So it's like to sit around and make it seem like it's like a, it's crazy. It's crazy to me, but
No,
I think
agree.
it's really unfortunate.
No, I agree. I agree as well, because we'll sit here and we'll talk about this all day, because I feel the same way. And I want to clarify for those who are tuned in, like, we don't go for any of that shit. Like, we don't like when people, say, oh, we like light skinned women and this and this and that. Like, that don't make us feel good. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're black at the end of the day, and we go through things. And don't say that I made it somewhere because of the color of my skin or because I look good or something like that. Don't discredit my hard work because you feel like that I got something based off of how I look. And I know you probably feel the same way, because I'm in the industry. I mean, not in the same industry as you, but I hear people all the time, oh, she's just pretty, that's why. Oh no, baby, because I've been working for a very, very, very long time.
Even the music conversation, they be saying stuff like, my music only does what it does because I look a particular way and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I know for sure I had a song that went platinum last year, and a lot of people heard it and nobody knew that it was me. I would do a show and people would say, oh, that's who sang that song? Right. They didn't even know that, and it's like, it's instances like that, or it's instances like, they say that I have this advantage, an unfair advantage, and I'm thinking to myself, I have built supporters and I have sold out shows, and I appreciate that, and I have been blessed with an avenue that I can do things for myself and my family. But it's like, what particular accolades are y'all talking about? I don't have no Grammys. I don't have my music isn't played on the radio like that yet. And maybe it is a yet thing, right? But the bottom line is, like,
stop trying to make it seem like that I'm
like I am on top of the world, right? And it's because I am light skinned.
Yeah,
it's like,
I feel that.
I don't feel that way.
And one thing, honestly, just being completely honest, growing up light skinned, some of the things that I've been through made me choose to do radio. Like, a lot of people will see me and be like, oh, you need to be on television. And I'm like, no, I don't want to be on television. I want to be on radio. Well, why? Because I want people to hear what I have to say. I don't want them to see me. I want them, when they hear me, they fuck with me based off of what I say and not by how I look. And before I even did radio, I was behind the camera, and I didn't even want to be in the limelight at all. Because my whole life I was that, just doing sports, like just being an athlete. But when it came to, like, my career and stuff, like, I didn't want to be in the limelight. I wanted to be behind, because I was tired of people talking about me or saying something about me or coming up with just different stories. And I'm like, you know what? If you're going to fuck with me for based off of what I got to say and how I say it. Don't fuck with me based off of how I look. Right. So, and then after a while, like, I did that I'm still doing radio, but now I'm like, you know what? I have way too much personality. I need to get my ass in front of the camera. So now I got to a point to where it's like, fuck what everybody else got to say. And I'm just glad that you got to a point to where you're like, fuck what everybody else got to say. And I'm glad that you came here and you were open and being vulnerable about this topic, because this is something that people don't want to talk about. Like, we just don't want to talk about it. Yeah. And I'm glad that you did, though, because it needs to be talked about. Like, it really does. Like, it happens. It happens in the community, and people are going to be mad. Like, you see this interview, they're going to be upset. They're going to say whatever they're going to say. But at the end of the day, we have a story too, and we're going to say it. And we're not taking our pain or our story away from whatever else anyone else went through. But our stories are always going to be our stories, and that's just what it is. Like, we go through different things. We go through different traumas, and that's okay. But to just summarize everything, light skin, dark skin, brown skin, caramel, whatever, we all stick together. And she's saying it and I saying it. We all stand with you, and whatever it is that you've went through or whatever the case may be, we stand with you. So I think that was a great conversation. And we can wrap everything up, but is there anything that we can expect from you coming up soon? Any, I don't know, shows, concerts, albums, singles?
I think I'm gonna go on tour.
Okay.
This year, well, not 2023, but after the holidays and stuff, I think I'm gonna go on tour.
Is it gonna be a solo tour, or are you thinking about?
I've done one headlining tour, so I think I'm gonna do another headlining tour. But the last time I didn't really take acts with me, or like I didn't really have openers, and I feel like I would like to incorporate something like that, you know, because I feel like I'm at a place now where it could be meaningful to somebody for me to endorse their craft, and I want to do that.
Yeah. Would it be like maybe like indie artists, or do you have like you just maybe an idea?
I don't know if I
of
have anybody in mind specifically yet, but I do think I want to do that, and I think
okay, I think that'd be dope.
I'm gonna look into that.
Yeah, maybe some people, somebody who you feel like, you know, how you were just saying, like, you know, people don't really like, you don't have, oh, I don't have Grammys yet, or my music's not on the radio yet, but maybe there's someone that's like that, and you can be like, you know what, I think you're dope,
right?
You know, I think that'd be a good look as well.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, and then drop your social media handles and where everybody can stream your music as well.
So you can find me on Instagram at Mariah the Scientist. I don't have a Twitter.
Right.
But you can catch me and my music on any streaming platform: Apple, Spotify, Tidal, SoundCloud, YouTube. The likes, you know, and I will be seeing you around. I hope to see you at a show or something.
Yeah,
maybe
facts.
Come out, check me out.
Yeah, come and check her out. I really appreciate you coming and kicking it with me, though.
No, thanks for having me.
I know we talked way longer than what we were supposed to, girl. We was in here talking, baby. I'm talking about we was having a whole session. Look, I had a good time though. So I appreciate you. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I am Jojo Alonso, and I'm kicking it with Mariah the Scientist in the Duncan Music Lounge. It's time for us to get up out of here and get some food.
Oh yes.
Okay, we out.